Hello, I am Maria Drushkova of Natural Math. In this video, I interview leaders of mathematical circles and they tell their origin stories.
My name is Rhody Steinig, and I run the Talking Stick Math Circle in Philadelphia. And the way I got started was for many years, I homeschooled my kids using an inquiry-based approach. And I used to teach preschool many years ago, and so have sort of a very playful approach to things. And I've worked in test prep for a long time for the Princeton Review. I teach students and I train teachers, and everything I do through there uses the Socratic method. And also, educationally, I have a degree in economics, which is applied math, because I love math, and in education. And so all of those things seem to weave in together to kind of make me the kind of educator that I am right now. And then one day, about 5 years ago, I got a call from Lisa Marciano, who's the president of the board of directors at Talking Stick, and she was really excited and said, "You won't believe what I heard on NPR." And she had been listening to NPR, and it turns out that they had been interviewing Bob and Ellen Kaplan of the Boston Math Circle, who for the most part are credited with starting up a math circles for the most part in the United States. And they had just written this book, Out of the Labyrinth, and were talking about what they do with kids. And she thought that it was just perfect for me and perfect for Talking Stick Learning Center. And she said, "Find out what you can about this, because I think we should have it. And I think we should have it at Talking Stick, and I think you should run it, and I think we should have it now, and I want this for my kids." So I went on to NPR, I listened to the interview, I did some Googling, and then I called Lisa back, and I said, "I want this for my kids, too." I didn't really know how to proceed, so I'm really active on this list called the Living Math listserv. So I posted on there, "Does anybody know about math circles, how you start them, etc., etc.?" And I got an immediate post back from Sue Van Hattem, who is the author of the upcoming book Playing with Math, and she's out in Oakland, California, doing a lot of different math things. And she was so excited about my post that I didn't even know her, but she put her phone number in the email to me, saying, "Call me right away about this." And she was excited, and I had a really long conversation with her, and she told me that the Kaplans were having a Math Circle Leader Teacher Training Institute upcoming in a few months, and she thought it would be great if I went to that. So I did. She was right. I had a great time, and when I came back, and within a month, working with Lisa and the other people at Talking Stick, we had a Math Circle going.
Okay, I'll introduce myself. My name is Mark Saul. I direct the Center for Mathematical Talent at NYU's Courant Institute of Mathematical Sciences. And I have a long history with after-school and out-of-curricular mathematics. What got me going? Well, it's hard to say. I spent 35 years in classrooms from 3rd grade to 12th grade. I taught regular curriculum, I taught math team, I taught after-school programs. I think the most direct response was I was teaching in a small suburban community, and I was teaching math for high school and computer science for elementary school. And some of the parents got together and wondered if they could do a little more with math after school in their homes. Well, what they were describing was a math circle, and it wasn't this was in the beginning of the 80s, middle 80s. It wasn't something that people did typically, but I was dying to do it. So I would meet with kids. It started with 3 kids, ended up with, I don't know, 8 or 10 kids per day, every weekday. Sometimes twice on weekdays. It became immensely popular. And we developed all kinds of interesting things, which are now the kinds of things that people do a lot of places. the book that we're editing with Maria has a lot of stuff in it that is that old, that has been tried that long. And there's an acknowledgement to some of the people who, in the introduction, to some of the people who started that. I can't tell you why. You asked why I got started like this. I'm not sure I can tell you. I just always loved math. And I love teaching math. And I love seeing kids' eyes light up. Anybody who's looking at this knows exactly what I'm talking about. And this is a wonderful opportunity. I'll tell you where it grew out of. This is interesting. The reason I could do this, and the reason that the parents noticed this in the school, was my experience with math teams. I was on a math team in high school, and when I was in high school, that was really the only interesting math. All the other math, I never really learned it in school. I went to class and heard the teacher recite things that I already knew. It was not hard. If I got less than 100 on a test, it was because of some slip, some arithmetic nonsense. But in the math team, there were kids who were as passionate about math as I was, and the curriculum was not tightly organized. You got problems thrown at you, and you had to use your intuitions helter-skelter any way that it happened. It was a very creative form of mathematics. At that time, this was the early 60s, that was really the only place that this kind of mathematics showed up, and it didn't show up for me until 11th grade. Before that, I hadn't met anybody who was interested in math on that level. Even the math team I was in 9th grade, all the teacher really did was do accelerated math. She taught us about arithmetic progressions before we had it in school. But the intuitions behind it were not brought out until then, and it was the other students that brought it out for me. And so I think the reason I'm saying this is the change from then to now is that there are so many more people interested in math on this level.
When I was a graduate student at Boston University, I got involved with a Girl Scout troop. I was one of the co-leaders, and each of the co-leaders was sharing something with girls in our troop about our careers. And so I did a math badge day for them at the Girl Scout office, and then a whole bunch of other troop leaders wanted to come too, so we did it a lot of times. And then a bunch of troops in southeastern Massachusetts, all around the Cape, wanted me to do something with their students, their girls. So I went and did that, and it was really fun. And then I heard about the Boston Math Circle that Bob and Ellen Kaplan have, and went over to observe. And then they asked if I would like to be an instructor, and they were just such great mentors to me. I taught classes for all different levels, from first graders all the way up through high school students, and it was a blast. And I decided, oh, this is too much fun, we can't stop now. So when my husband and I moved back to home, Indiana, we decided that we would found a community math center, and that has entailed math circles and a lot of other programs as well.
In the next video of the series, Roddy, Mark and Amanda will talk about their fears and worries and the ways they cope.